down the grid to P5 and P6. Bambino and drivers have actually worked themselves into a very reasonable position. 27.159 himself. And we keep our eye on the Williams driver. Blurry Julio is currently in P10. Has the mighty unfortunate that the stream had to come to an abrupt end as such, but hopefully we're back underway now. Currently in P11, Hallinan setting a time of 133.0 himself, and not a competitive lap time whatsoever. Unfortunately, must have had some sort of incident. Blurry Julio comes across the line with a 142.7. Nothing too impressive from him either. I guess we'll move our attention elsewhere. So as we watch Font now coming towards the end, it is back underway. Shouldn't have any other issues going forward, but Font now looked like he drove straight off the track there and into a wall. That was just my connection bugging out. But luckily for us, he is still currently out on track. Now coming through the second DRS zone. And sets a 101.5. No purple sectors through sector 2. Coming through this next section now. Looked like he had a touch with the wall there, though that could just be my connection bugging out. Who really knows at this point? Interestingly enough, with 10 minutes left to go in the session, Landobot's actually coming up for an outlap himself, and now we watch Font coming through the final corner now. What sort of times is he going to be able to set? Currently in P15 with no time set. Would like that to change immediately. Comes across the line, and Font sets a 129.1, unfortunately following his teammate extremely closely as he's trying to utilize that slipstream to his advantage. And he's been involved in some sort of incident there with his team. We can see the broken front wing on the front left of his car. Must have rammed into the back of his teammate many turns, and that has unfortunately costed Trends heavily as he's gonna have to come back into the pits and retire this lap. He seems to be on an absolute roll there. And you know there's going to be some frustrations building in that Mercedes pit garage after that incident, and why not? As teammates, you should have open communication with each other and have a great understanding as to where you both are wanting to go, but unfortunately, it's not the case here. Landobot now on an outlap himself, and Miniturn seems to be on a run himself as well. So after getting involved in that incident earlier with his own teammate, he cuts the track massively, and that's going to be the end of Miniturn's run as he invalidates his lap time. So I guess we'll switch back our attention towards Landobot, currently in P2, only roughly a tenth off of his teammate. Would like to get that position to get provisional pole. But of course, the Aston Martin team would like to work in unison together to secure the front grid. But we'll see how the competitive edges of these teammates come forward and if they'll start to show their true colors as qualifying continues. Crofties now, who's currently in P3, has now begun his outlap as well. So it seems like Jaguar is on a run of his own at the moment. Is a bit separated by his team. They were currently P5 and P6, but Jaguar is spoiling that party, and Robin would tense. So fantastic lap time from him as it's progressing. Robin now sticking as close to that left side wall as he possibly can, trying to minimize the amount of distance he has to cover to get towards the next corner. And now tucking it nice and in, meets the apex on the exit. No understeer on the exit of that 5. A great lap from the Ferrari driver over there, and we switch our attention now over to Landobot, who's a bit of a quarter way through his lap time at the moment. He seems to be pushing. Luckily for him, he's been through the tough parts of this track. There's only really one corner left to go where you can invalidate it, and that's that fast chicane. We're coming through Sector 2 now. Let's see what sort of times Landobot puts up. Coming towards the end of Sector 2. Purple Sector 2, a 1 minute flat. And Lando seems to be on an absolute roll at this moment. If he can continue to keep this pace up, we may be looking at someone else sitting in provisional pole. We know he's a quick corner. It seems like he had a slight kiss with the wall there, but now keeping it as left as possible to meet the line. Landobot comes across the line, sets a 127.146. That possible light collision with that wall might have ruined his run heading towards the line. And once again, we only have broadcasting mic audio. Why is this happening? That is frustrating. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the session, and I will be right back trying to figure out what's wrong with this. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm terribly sorry about this poor connection thing that is showing you guys. I have no idea what's up with the internet here, but I'm going to try to restart this stream for the third and final time. If it still doesn't work, then unfortunately I think that's going to be it from me today, and terribly sorry about no stream then, but if it does continue working this third time around, then well, lucky us. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back.